Valerie, it's hard to follow that. I think you dissected the protocol pretty well there. It is fantastic to see so many people out here this afternoon. I think we need to give a round of applause to those who have organised this, the individuals and the groups. This is brilliant. This is fabulous. Because I don't know about you, but I genuinely believe there is a movement taking place within the Loyalist community and the Unionist community right now. There is a movement happening where people are saying proudly, clearly, taking to the streets if need be, enough is enough. What are we saying enough to? And as Valerie stated it brilliantly, an injustice has taken place in our communities and in and toward our country. And that injustice is the Northern Ireland Protocol. What is the Northern Ireland Protocol? The Northern Ireland Protocol is the product of betrayal. Betrayal from the our British government, our Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who sold Northern Ireland down the river to achieve his Brexit. It is a betrayal. That's what it is. It's an injustice, and that's how it should be understood. We had the Prime Minister of our country come to Northern Ireland and tell us that he would never accept, that he would never tolerate a border down the Irish Sea. But when the chips were down, when a decision was there to be made, that's exactly what he agreed to. He said that over his dead body would he allow a border down the Irish Sea. Well, in fact, he stepped over thousands of dead bodies of people from Ulster who fought and died. And the message from Portadown, which is clear to see, but the message from Ulster, the message from every Unionist and every Loyalist in Northern Ireland is that this is intolerable and the protocol must go. What does it do? It creates a customs border down the Irish Sea, right? It is damaging to business. You will be told time and time again, this is the best of both worlds. Like it's a myth, as if it's some sort of economic opportunity, as if it's an advantage. It is not. What has it done? It has damaged business since its implementation. Product availability has been reduced. Profitability has been damaged. Businesses are reorienting themselves away from London, away from GB, to align with the South. And what we are seeing is economic alignment. Separation from Great Britain at the cost of greater unification with the South. And look at what happened with the European Union. The European Union is a political union. It began as an economic union, and that's exactly what is happening through the protocol. And that is another reason why it must go. What else does it do? It damages the sovereignty or the constitutional position in Northern Ireland. We are part of the United Kingdom. I'm proud to be part of the United Kingdom. Northern Ireland is as much an integral member of the United Kingdom as any other constituent country. What is the Union? What is it? It was formed through legislation in the year 1800 through the Act of Union 1800, which stated, just like Valerie said, Article 6 says that all subjects should be on an equal footing. It wasn't just a political union, it was an economic union. And that's the very union that our government is arguing in court today that has been breached. This is a constitutional issue. It is a constitutional abomination. And once again, it's another reason why it will never be tolerable to the Unionist and Loyalist community. It is another reason why every single Unionist, whether it be in Northern Ireland or in Great Britain, must stand against this constitutional outrage. It is unacceptable. The protocol must go. It threatens our sovereignty. This is not just orange and green. This is not just unionist issues. Yes, it's a constitutional issue, but it's not just solely for unionism. When you're standing here today, when you're standing against the protocol, you're standing up for business. You're standing up for health. Northern Ireland is part of the European Medicines Agency. What that means is medicines must go through approval through the European Medicines Agency. And what we've seen in the past number of weeks, Great Britain has autonomy over that. They're different than us. We still remain in the European Medicines Agency. Great Britain is outside of it, and they're able to pass and approve medical support for cancer treatments and all the rest of it. The protocol is not just bad for business. The protocol is not just bad for the union. The protocol is bad for your health. So when you stand up against the protocol, you're standing up for business, you're standing up for the union, you're standing up for health, you're actually standing up for every single citizen in Northern Ireland, because this is unacceptable. It threatens our sovereignty, because we're in a position where laws that are implemented in our country, we have no say in those laws. What respectable Western civilization would ever tolerate that? Our ancestors fought and died to protect democracy. Are we going to acquiesce and allow it to be given away to the hands of the European Union? I don't think so. This is about sovereignty. This is about democracy. So when we stand against the protocol, that's what we're standing against. But these are the things we're standing for today. It's not just sovereignty as well. We've also got the issue of the Belfast Good Friday Agreement. Now, I was born in 1992. I was 6 years of age whenever the Belfast Agreement was signed, so I'm not going to lecture anybody about what they voted for or what they didn't vote for or all the rest of it. But since 1998, it's hard to find a unionist or a loyalist that will argue with a straight face that the Belfast Agreement has delivered for you or for your community, has it? So, but what we do have in this Brexit process is a manner in which the Good Friday Agreement was not used as an instrument to defend your values. It was not used as an instrument to protect your community, but to attack it. It was not used as something to protect our constitution, but to assault it. Because throughout the whole Brexit process, we heard time and time again how the Belfast Agreement prohibited a customs border which respected Northern Ireland's unity between itself and Great Britain, but reflected Northern Ireland's division between itself and the Republic of Ireland. The Belfast Agreement was used as a weapon to attack what we value. As far as I'm concerned, the manner in which it has been used has left it in tatters. And if you read the Northern Ireland Protocol, the purpose, you were told, of the protocol is to protect the Belfast Agreement. It doesn't. It damages it. The purpose of the protocol, we're told, is to protect the peace process. It doesn't. It threatens it. And it's about time that our politicians in Europe, in the Irish Republic, and the United Kingdom government, and up at Stormont understood that. I started by saying that the protocol is an injustice. And nothing sums this up greater than the fact that Leo Varadkar, members of Sinn Féin, SDLP and the Alliance Party and the Irish government and the European Union, all of them, like some sort of political choir, hyped up the threat of Republican violence if we had a customs border which respected Northern Ireland's position within the United Kingdom. They did it. We heard Leo Varadkar parade papers in the European Commission of bombs and death and destruction at customs border posts between Northern Ireland and the South. And in so many words he said, this could return if you had a customs border which respected unionism, which respected Northern Ireland's place within the United Kingdom. We had Jean-Claude Juncker on national TV telling us that history, the dark and awful history that we have here, could be back immediately if we had a customs arrangement which respected Northern Ireland's position within the United Kingdom. The threat of violence has been front and centre throughout this entire Brexit process, and it has led to a customs border in the Irish Sea which damages Northern Ireland's constitutional position. What sort of society is that to live in? What sort of thing is that to tolerate? So when Unionists and Loyalists and anyone who values democracy comes out here to stand today against this injustice, you're standing against the threat of violence and the way in which our opponents have used it for their own political gain. So the question is, and the question we're asking ourselves, it is an injustice, but what can we do? What can Loyalists and Unionists do to rally against it? And it is clear that because it is intolerable, it will be challenged. So let's challenge it. It will be challenged in the courts. And we're seeing that through the likes of Mid-Ulster and Kate Hoey and Ben Abib and others who are taking the fight against the protocol to the courts. And it will be challenged on the streets. People will protest peacefully. They will stand up and say that this is intolerable. And you don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You have a democratic right and privilege to stand against this injustice in the peaceful way that we are doing here today, and no one should be ashamed of that whatsoever. So we will protest against this because it is an outrage, but it also needs to be challenged politically. And what we are seeing over the past 2 years is an absence of political action. This is why people are here, because we've waited long enough. We've been waiting for our politicians to take the lead against this injustice, and it hasn't came here. All we've got is platitudes and rhetoric, and they're told to dial down the rhetoric. They don't need to dial it down, they need to back it up. The wheels of change are sown with activism, not words, not rhetoric. It's easy for me to stand here and it's easy for politicians to speak, but it's action. It's ordinary people like yourselves who are willing to take risks, who are willing to come out here and show your face and stand peacefully protesting against this injustice. Where's our politicians? We need political action, and we need it now. So as we go forward, our message is one community, all together, as one people, united. We're tired of talking. We're tired of waiting. The protocol must go. And if our politicians refuse to act, if they continue to implement this injustice, then they will no longer be representing those they claim to represent. The protocol must go.